Welcome back to my channel. I am the Markane, aka Anji-Bug, and this is my time for a channeled reading. I think Atah would like to be the angel channeled tonight. I'm here to have fun, I'm here to learn, and I'm here to grow. And I will take what messages I need from this, and we will go with it. Take time to breathe in and out. Sit with yourself for a minute. Feel your vibration. And if you don't feel in vibration, you may not, message may not be for you. If you'd like to stay, some of it may be, some of it may not. This is a message for the collective. And now, okay, so tonight we are going to be discussing, we've done like a 3 spread, and we have 7 cards in it. And we're going to be discussing your current situation and the challenges you face and what rewards you may receive if you just let your divine guide you. So tonight, for the condition that the collective is in right now, they feel contented and rewarded in their relationships. They have a rewarding family life, be that be their group of friends or their family members. They're feeling rewarded. And even if you're a solitary person, someone kind of in hermitage, you are feeling a rewarding life. You're feeling rewarded by what you're doing, and it's making you very, very joyful. You feel like that in this moment your emotional and material needs are met. They're met. And that you're in trustworthy relationships. And this is leading to your relationships developing on a new level. You're feeling more and more comfortable with the people around you. You're feeling more like you can introduce more and more of your true self, your divine self, into your everyday life, living your 5D world, living your divine life right there out in the open, hidden but seen in the public eye. And you have learned how to care for yourself and others. So that leads to what is going to be the challenge to get to that next step, that next place that you need to be in order to achieve your goals. The goals that you set out for yourself in the material, the goals that you set out for yourself in the spiritual. Because let's be frank, most of us are actually goal setters. We have dreams that we want to fulfill, and we're willing to take a lifetime to achieve some of them. So, fears surrounding money. So, fears surrounding money have been holding you back. I know that it's held Angela back. Holding you back right now. That's what the challenge is. Overcome that, because you are feeling this abundance right now. Don't go back to the past ways of feeling fears surrounding money. And take a moment, if others are offering help, have the wisdom to accept help from others. Remember, though, to make sure that help is of an aligned person, someone who has your best spiritual and material interest at heart, because not everyone is aligned with you, and you are indeed a battery You radiate this light, and you can send it out to the world, but it also can be leached from you. So watch out a little bit for like the energy vampire. And a lot of you I know, and I know Angela feels the same way, especially because of her condition. It's you're feeling uncertain about self-employment. You want to be self-employed. You enjoyed, maybe you have had a time where you were self-employed, so when like Angie has, when she was teaching, and though because of her condition that is not the right step for her, it was taken away from her anyway. And she just keeps seeking some kind of replacement, but for the now she's trying to just enjoy being with the flowers, helping the people around the flower shop, like the taking care of others. Tonight she took out some flower, well, the flowers were outside, but she took a heavy basket of flowers and put it in this elderly lady's car. She really appreciated Angie doing that, because they were both, her and her husband were elderly, and it's bad enough a weight on the wrist for Angie, more or less like someone who may not have that kind of hand strength anymore. And it makes Angie feel grateful for what she has in abundance, and that is strength. She has strength of her body. She has been able to do a lot of the things that other people wouldn't have thought someone of her size could do, except for researching things on shelves. She's not Reed Richards. She watched last night. They went and watched Fantastic Four. They've been comic book geeks, lovers for a long time, and they love watching it on the cinema. So you may be feeling like right now that you're missing opportunities. And you're also feeling a sense of discontentment wherever you are at. That is the challenge. And boredom. But you need to open your eyes to the possibility. What is your focus? When you're daydreaming with boredom, what is your focus? That can tell you where your next step may be. What are you drawn to when you're in the sense of boredom? Distracting yourself maybe from your job or from what you were intending to do. What is it that you're focused on? Open your eyes to the possibilities. What might that be telling you? The challenge is to figure that out. And then for the third card on this is a clarification. You need to speak your mind with confidence. You could, if it's available to you, seek professional advice, or seek out a friend or someone that you know that's willing to help you figure this out, who's willing to give you advice. Think about it, and then use your own discernment on what resonates with you, because it's decision-making time. And then it says you need to balance the mental and emotional considerations. And at this time, I think that's where some of the baggage lie for the whole collective, is balancing those mental and emotional considerations. They usually, and I know Angie falls into it, they consider the material, that mental considerations, more thoroughly sometimes than the emotional considerations. But remember, we're here to radiate love, which is an emotion. So we need to learn how to be able to balance those considerations, because it would not do Angie any good to be homeless. So she has a discerning eye about whether or not she's prepared to make a leap, especially not having any ideas. She does keep listening out, and that is what you guys need to do. Listen out Pay attention to self. Take care of yourself and others. And the answers will come. Be centered in yourself, on your divine self and your divine frequency, where your angel lies. Communicate, if you can, with your angel, and that angel will answer you and let you know what they require of you in order for you to grow. Because you are a vessel. You are a vessel. You are the final creator, decision maker. You're here, though, to align with the intentions of that angel. It's yours to decide what feels right and how to get there. But there are contracts that you want to fulfill, or you wouldn't have come down here. So what will, if we meet the challenge head on, if we are bold and meet that challenge head on, and we trust ourselves and our intuition, and we keep ourselves in the frame of mind of abundance in the now, abundance in the now, the future now will be full of abundance too, and it will take care of itself. Yep, see, abundance. Things look very good. Have patience at this time. Make long-term plans. See, they're saying the ancestors, the cards, the universe, the collective message is this fear of, for monies, the safety, that concern, it's no longer appropriate to who you are. It does not belong in the 5D realm. There is no fear. The now takes care of itself. There's no fear of the future, and there is no recriminations of the past. There's knowing of the past and how it made you grow. And there's hope and dreams for the future. But the now takes care of itself, and it will do so in the future. And if you remember that you are in this 5D abundance, and don't go, oh God, things are always changing. Yeah, they are. But they're meant to change for the better. Keep yourself in your 5D self, and your abundance will remain. Maintain the abundance of the now, and the abundance of the future will take care of itself. And it's saying that having patience, long-term plans. They're long-term plans. The energy of the now is promoting long-term plans. These dreams that you knew would take years, they are developing more quickly, but they are long-term plans. It is a good thing to have long-term plans and short-term plans to fulfill the goals towards the long-term plans. And if you stay in your 5D self, it will lead to happy times. And again, it's talking about make optimistic long-term plans. Happy, optimistic long-term plans. Remember, you are here as a perfect being already. That doesn't mean you're not messy or an animal. You're living in a 3D realm. It's going to be messy. Enjoy the mess. Enjoy it. Have fun creating who you are. Discovering what it is that you want to do and making long-term plans towards that. And taking steps. Smaller steps. Completing those will get you to your longer term goals. Record if you feel like recording. Write if you feel like writing. Play the kazoo if that's what you do. Just enjoy whatever it is that makes you feel creative in the now. So, and then that reminds you, you are on the right path. When you connect with your 5D self, there is no wrong path. You just have to figure out what it is that makes you happy and what you want to do. There is no wrong path. When you're living in your 5D self, you're not going to want to do those things that harm the others around you or that step in the way of your goals. And if you have short-term interruptions in your goals, you will see them as opportunities to look at what might be around you that you're missing. That doesn't mean your plans always go out without a hitch, because sometimes those hitches are necessary. Sometimes there's some key element that you've been missing in the puzzle of how to achieve that dream, and you get that on one of your accidental stops. So let's see. And here is what her cards are saying. Anji's cards are saying the future is opened wide. The future is open wide. Again, you can achieve whatever it is you want. The future is open wide. Make those long-term plans. What is it that resonates? What is it that you want to do? And then in those long-term plans, go, what first step sounds right to me? And then make that first step. And then the second, and then the third. The future will take care of itself as you're playing, as you're creating. Let's see what other card might exist from her on this. A 1649. Okay, that's a pretty good video so far. She doesn't really know how long to make the videos, and we tell her, don't worry. Do whatever feels right. Let us complete the message, and the people who are supposed to see it will come. And if they're not supposed to see it yet, the energy will be felt just to what's right for you and fulfill those goals that we've set out. So, hold on to your seat for a bumpy ride. Now, it has been Mercury retrograde, and I think there's a little bit of time left in that Mercury retrograde. Now, if you intend, like she does, to live a long life, there will be times when you need to hold in your seat for a bumpy ride. That doesn't mean that the ride won't be fun. You know, one of the things that Anji seems to enjoy the best, the rides she seems to enjoy the best, is actually planes. And she enjoys the turbulence. She said it feels like an amusement park ride to her. It doesn't make her feel scared. It makes her feel exhilarated. Like, you know, here are the elements out there. But, you know, excuse me, sorry. She trusts the planes. Although maybe she shouldn't these days, but she hasn't ridden in one in a minute. So, but she really enjoys that ride, and she enjoys the turbulence. And so if you could find a way to enjoy the turbulence of your life, anything that feels like, oh crap, now I've just been picked up by this tornado of thing that I didn't expect and been blown a little bit off the path. Now what do I do? How do I get there? And you should just breathe into it. Take a look around. Where did it blow me? What am I supposed to see? What opportunities have arisen from this standstill, this setback, this whatever you have chosen in the past to call these little obstacles along the way? But remember that you can't always live amongst obstructions, so eventually those obstructions will give way, one by one. But take time. Because, see, outside the zombies walking, that is what in Angela's poems she called people who are asleep to who they are, asleep to the actual quest of finding that out, and thinking that it's up to society to tell you who you are. And it feels like to her that most of her generation, most of the generations before this, they've been like zombies walking. They may have moments of clarity when early on in life, but they'll revert back to whatever they felt because of fear. They'll revert back to their parents' way, you know. So that was one thing that she was determined not to do in this life, is just out of fear revert back to, oh, I have to be this way because there's safety in the fear that you already have. No, no. It's okay not to be afraid of the unknown, right? The unknown is not necessarily bad, it's just unknown. Yeah, that's scary. But when you really look closely at everything, what do we truly know, and what can we contain as one individual as far as the knowledge of our species, of the human race, of DNA, of biology? You know, you have these beautiful human brains, but, you know, even geniuses only have so much that they can hold at one time. Hold maybe their brain stores it, but hold in their conscious mind in order to use. And the brain is a beautiful thing. It'll store things that you don't know that will come up later, and all of a sudden, when you need it, it's like, oh yeah, I remember that. The human race is uniquely designed in order for things that, you know, in your brain, the way it functions, it will store things in a manner that is comprehensible, so that when you come across a need for that thing that you've learned, it will start pulling those up like files, you know, in your head. And it's easy to make that mechanism work well if you are not a zombie walking. If you wake up to those other senses that you have. Because when you're not working with all your senses that you have, be it empathy or whatever your magic is, your sight, your psychic nature, if you're not working with all of them, then pieces of yourself are missing. And if you've disowned a piece of yourself that is necessary for your being, not old baggage, but a piece of who you truly are at the core, a divine aspect of yourself, if you have disowned that piece, then it will wreak havoc. If you've disowned a piece and not integrated knowledge that you need to find about what the darker side of your nature might be, that limited spiritual warrior we might face when we are up against trying to figure out who we are, that limited spiritual warrior who feels attacked at every turn, who feels a need to defend the ego, even though the ego doesn't need defense. If the ego is used right, the ego is the seed of the divine nature of a human being, of that angel, of that spiritual warrior of light, that one who's not afraid to look inside to find out what makes nature tick, what makes that person tick. And it is much like a battle, having gone through a lot of it myself with Angie. It's like a battle. You're constantly looking for, what is it that I need to learn from this, this, and this in order to shed out motive ways of thinking. And in her case, in order to find out what it is that caused the anorexia. What is it that makes me dysmorphic? What is it that makes me dysmorphic? What is it that calls me to punish myself by trying to control or over control those things, when everything else seems out of my control? And that is one of the things that she had to face during her battles. But, you know, your battles might be different. You might be limiting yourself through religion. You could be embracing religion and not limiting yourself there. But you could be limiting yourself through religion. You could be limiting yourself through your concept of what other people need you to be. What does your highest angel need you to be? That will take care of others. You have to love yourself and be concerned and submit to your highest self as much as you may feel of service and submit to others. Yes, you could say in a way it's selfish because it's about the true self. That self that is here to live the divine life. You are that self that's here to live the divine life. Now, what do you need to do to make that shine? Remember, it's supposed to feel creative. Remember, it's supposed to feel fun. And yes, I said feel. It's about feeling. Creativity is more about feeling than it is about material. Material will maybe the result, say a painting, a drawing, a musical instrumental, or a vocal, a piece of poetry, a statue. But it is that original creative feeling that led to the result. And it was what they're trying to portray in the song, on the page, through the stone, through the poem. It's emotional, like art, because it's creative. Creative can't be done without the emotional drive to do it. So, your trust in life renewed. Remember to trust your 5D self. You need to submit and trust the goals that you had before you came down in this life cycle or this lifetime. And trust in those goals and realize it's supposed to be fun. They wouldn't have written it not to be fun. Now there are things that were challenges that were written. But once you have achieved those 5D selves and learned those lessons, then you no longer need to repeat those patterns in order to achieve those lessons. And those that have been born just naturally into the 5D, and those who have been fighting and have fought to achieve the 5D or beyond, they're being called to renew their trust in life. And how do you renew your trust in life? Live happily. Live in hope. Live in faith in yourself. Trust your intuition and your highest self to guide you. Trust your 5D self to know what it was intended to do and that it was supposed to be fun. It's supposed to feel creative. It's supposed to get your juices flowing. One more card. So, the light I bring can give quite a sting. When you're doing this internal work, like I was saying, it can feel like a battle. You have to breathe through that and know you're not being attacked. This is the feeling of the limited ego self that is afraid that it's going to not exist anymore. Now, when you're living in the 5D realm, that's not possible. You are living as your divine individual. You've individuated. You've started to find your faceted self and let that shine to the world. You're no longer afraid to admit that you're faceted. You've been through these struggles that made you shine with bright like a rainbow, that gave you this beautiful color to you and to your aura, that has expanded whatever you thought was possible. Remember, when you're living in the 5D, you're in touch with your limitless nature. and you're bringing that limitless nature down into the limited realm of the 3D realm. And you're accessing the limitless nature of who you truly are, and not allowing the 3D and the 4D to define your nature in that way. You're letting your divine light intersect and be in the 3D realm while creating in the 5D, beyond the time and space continuum, where you are accessing more and more of all of the individual pieces of you in this life and others. You're collecting that angel, and you're making it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and you're shining a bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger light. Say, well, if you, Angie, watched the Fantastic Four and Galactus, the enemy is this huge, hungry beast that is eating planets to survive. And Angie, she's like, it needs to stop complaining about who it is and starve itself. It does have a choice in the matter. And that's who she is. But when Angie's seeing the concept of the angels and then her angelic unit, in her mind's eye, when it's constructing itself before her, it's not many different angels in one form, side by side. It's this unit that becomes this huge angel, individuated, but acting as this huge angel, as one. It's magnificent, and it shines this huge light of love everywhere it goes, this huge child of light. And that's the way she seen it because of some of her visions, seeing two angels working together and in the shadows that created one angel. And so this concept has grown and grown, that she says she would like to be the by-hair god, but there were all pieces of this big divine angel, and we've collected ourselves up in this unit, the soul group, to do this job in this realm right now, to become this big foretold angel, So however you see it, and the vision's beautiful, so, but however it is that you see what it is you're becoming, what it is that through these knowledges that you've learned in the dark night of the soul, or through your happier times and your intuitions, what is it that you're becoming? Get a hold of that vision. Let it play itself out for you, because we are here as emissaries for these divine sparks of life and love, and it's up to us to have the grandest play possible. Up to us to have the grandest play possible. This is what Angela has come to believe. This is what we angels believe. We are here to learn, love, and grow through ourselves and what's radiated back at us through other angels who are emissaries on this earth. And we will evolve. We will evolve. You will evolve. Your consciousness will evolve. Your bodies will evolve. Angie knows that better than anyone. When all of a sudden your body decides to change its own physiology, and you are left to try to figure out how to define yourself now, because this is a piece that you never expected, so you have no way to define it. We were here to help her give herself a way to define it, to not put ourselves into those negative boxes because of something beyond her control. And that's what we will say to you, too. There are going to be things in the outside world on the 3D realm that are beyond your control. You can't control tornadoes. You can't control tsunamis. That's the mechanism of Gaia. You can't control volcanoes. You can only try to mitigate the severity of its effect upon humankind. So, there are things that are always going to be out of one's control. But remember, you're here to accept those things and see them as learning opportunities and grow and live happy in your 5D self. So I will let Angie come back, and I really enjoyed doing this, and as we go along, we'll probably call her to do more and more readings, trying to figure out how to fit all of the things she needs to do in her life around everything else. But that's one thing, we're patient, and we're her friends, so we will get what we need, and she will get what she needs. We're working for you guys. Don't forget, we are on your side. We're there. Breathe. You'll feel us. Deeply. You'll feel us in the vibrations of everything around you. And you'll know that you're one of us. We love you, emissaries, and I'll see you next time. Once again, very interesting. Well, I hope you enjoy it. They're enjoying it, and I'm enjoying it. They're my friends, and it's something that they've asked me to do for quite some time. It's something they've asked me to do for quite some time, at least a couple of years. And now I'm here, and I'm doing it, because it is what they asked me to do. And I know Merlin. I must have a contract. My dearest Mirrodin is so full of math and contracts. He loves them. Not certain why, but it's one of his things. And he's very, very excited about it. So he would be definitely excited to see me fulfilling more and more of my contracts, those that I do know about, and those that I will happen upon, because I didn't even know they existed. But until then, guys, I love you, emissaries. Remember, be true to yourself. Find your light. Shine it. Don't care what people think. Sometimes they think it's foolish when people are being idiosyncratic, authentic to their nature. But remember, those people don't matter. Are you having fun? Is whatever you're doing authentic to your nature? Do it. Eventually, the people who don't resonate with you will start going along the wayside. Or just end up calling you weird, like they do with me. And I don't mind. I'm a weirdo. I've accepted that a long time ago. And I just go with it. It's helped me be adaptable to everything that has occurred in my spiritual and my physical life. And now, I will actually let you go. I haven't gotten around to making a list. I am now making a list of what I really want to do, what videos I want to watch, so that I can do my review videos. If any of you who watch those, or would care to watch those who watch this, would like to see them, it will be out soon. I'm just trying to make sure that I get the ones I really want to get. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, emissaries. Bye.